the opponent. This sort of stuff. So this is the thing. This midfield is aging. Like they
It's not actually even aging. I mean, I cannot say about Rabiot or Arthur is too much too old, but
no,
they're
not
not the
really.
players.
Yeah, but the thing is that they need someone who can actually blister. Think with a third eye, like a number 10. But there isn't actually a number 10 there.
Sorry,
And
there is a number 10, and he's playing
yeah, but
probably the best football, even in if you see the ratings and the way he creates. The problem is Paulo Dybala was the centerpiece, and to create some sort of space, Allegri is trying to overload the area, and it works on certain extent. But his link ups with especially Morata's touches sometimes. I don't understand why Chiesa doesn't play more. Um, or I don't know if he's injured, and I don't understand some of the. Well, I cannot really blame Allegri totally, given the midfield choices he has, the Bentancur and Rabiot, and Rabiot used to be a promising player. He's not anymore. He's probably not on that level at all. So they definitely need a good structure in the midfield, and they have aging defenders as well as horrible fullbacks. Danilo and Alexandro, I mean, with all respect, are not on the par of. Um, I was trying to say some names, but I thought that would be insulting them. That whole team, and given the some of the goalkeeper howlers in the start of the season, they have lost some point.
yeah,
And obviously Cristiano leaving fairly late on the season, because they were kind of
yeah.
preparing Cristiano would be giving them a lot of goals, right? And leaving kind of very late on the season definitely impacted them. And on the other hand, there are certain other players, certain other teams basically up their game, such as Napoli and Milan and Inter to a certain extent. And that made Juventus look so bad, because I remember Juventus, even previous helm of Allegri when he came from AC Milan, was very slow to take up the points. But the problem was other teams were not taking up the points. This time around, that's what changed.
One more thing I was going to mention, like when you brought the issues about midfield, is that they have noticeable gaps in the on the edge of right edge of or left edge of the D box. Like for example, I meant like a creative midfielder who can actually close up those gaps, like a Marco Verratti, what he does normally, or I don't know, some other center midfielder, like Bernardo Silva probably. Yeah, they actually push up, or sometimes they set down.
But
It
but
depends on the situation of the
but my
match, but
question is, right now they're too dependent on one system, and also there is some bad luck definitely. And I understand you're talking about some late run from the midfield advancing option.
they don't have these passing options anymore, like what Allegri did before. It's not possible right now because of this, because of they're 2-3 years behind of those passing of options.
I do hear you, because if after Claudio Marchesio has gone, or even on a certain extent, because Blaise Matuidi used to be that running around guy. I don't see a creative sort of link up. I mean, Locatelli with time, hopefully he gets there, but they're too vulnerable to counter attacks, and some of the gaps. I mean, today I've seen Giovanni Simeone's goal, and nobody was actually closing on him, because probably they didn't thought of he's going to shoot it from really outside of the box. But there are some basic things that I'm not used to seeing this Juventus. and now we're seeing it. It's actually not bad in terms of as a neutral supporter, but we're not used to see this Juventus suffer. I think it's good for Italian football overall. I mean, the other teams are coming up,
Yeah.
such as I was desperate to talk about a little bit of Spalletti's Napoli. Napoli do look very good side, very oiled machine. Especially their center forward Osimhen was a Nigerian. Is
Actually, yeah, sorry about that. Actually, right, yeah, right before I decided to watch Napoli versus, sorry, Juventus versus Verona, and unfortunately missed it. So like there was this Fabio Capello interview
Mhm.
in TV, and he was actually comparing this guy to an artist or something. So like,
Osimhen was he
Mm,
talking about Osimhen?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Osimhen has been fantastic. I mean, one of the revelation. I mean, even if you see some of the other teams, such as Roma has Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham has fantastic movements, you know,
yeah.
and he has quite a good supporting
Even
cast.
he was doing that under Thomas Tuchel, but his system is
A
I don't know,
little
like
different, a little different.
yeah, yes, but still it's better for him to play for Jose Mourinho.
For sure. But what I'm
Mm,
what I'm coming from is one, we know that Napoli depends on a lot about Lorenzo Insigne, and it used to be Dries Mertens, and there are a lot of other, Mario Ruiz,
yeah,
Fabian Ruiz, and people like that. But right now they have a very, I think after Gonzalo Higuain's spell at Napoli, I think this is their finest forward they have found, and he's been instrumental in terms of winning the balls and outpacing other defenders, and also taking other defenders deep enough so Insigne gets space, or Fabian Ruiz, who scored fantastic scorcher. And I wish, I think at around Luis Enrique's time, Barcelona were linked with him, and I wish he was in Barcelona because he's probably one of the finest Spanish midfielder right there. Scored scorcher against their last game. I can't remember at this point who was it against, but a beautiful team to watch at this point. And what Spalletti brought in is a balance, because Spalletti is known for fairly balanced in terms of attack and defending, and still defense looks quite solid. I mean. Uh, Ospina looks good, coming up with some
yeah.
saves, and they're running high, as well as AC Milan looks very good. I mean, it's good for Italian football that other teams are really stepping up while Juventus still kind of
And
going down.
one thing I was going to mention actually, like if you notice that like we discussed about money in football last our in our last episode, and the thing is that like Italians are building those players are I don't know, without any money, like without any
Or
uh,
less amount
yeah,
compared
less
compared
amount
to
of money.
English
It's
Premier
more
League.
like, yeah, it's more like like a technical things. Like even Jose Mourinho joined this league. It actually enriched this league because after all, he's not winning the league for a while. I don't know how many times, but still he's a good technician. But with the English team, it's not working out. But still, Roma probably lost a game in Europa League
I think
by
they're
6-0. Yeah, 1-6.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, but they're still on the top four. I think on the fourth place right
Yeah,
now.
they are still in the top floor, and like Spalletti or even Allegri is back now with all those coaches. Like like I don't know, like most of the time now they have like players like this
Mm-hmm.
these days. So like uh, yeah, they try to build up these systems, like all of this club. Like even like we didn't mention Atlanta because he's there for a
Yeah,
while.
Gasperini is very well known for
Yeah,
that.
Gasperini is like I don't know, like one of the most complex attacking style I have ever seen in my life. Like it was mentioned, like Tuchel was mentioned this thing, like he tried to watch Atlanta, but he couldn't actually anticipate their building strategy.
Yeah,
So
because
like it was so
no other
chaotic.
coach
Yeah,
kind of overpopulates on both flanks and try to have one person in the middle try to balance both sides, which is very complex. I mean, players come around and come goes and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. Like I really like those one twos. Like I don't know. Like yeah, like I started loving Argentine team because of these one
yeah,
twos. I
yeah.
love those sort of games. And so like when they're playing like this thing, like with these four midfielders moves in a like really chaotic way. And um what's his name, like this nine guy, I've actually
Luis Muriel.
forgot. Yeah, Muriel is always there to receive the ball, or like try to block or try to make a second ball
Yeah.
or something like this. And they start like playing one twos, and yeah, suddenly yeah, they scored. And like what I was going to say, that like Atlanta, AC Milan, Inter Milan, they have this system. Like they are trying to building this system. They did not have actually players for like last 2 3 years, but from like if you can notice, like from 2016 to 17, around that time, actually everything is was actually starting to change, because both of the Milans are like trying to get some money, or started getting some money is from somewhere, and
Well,
play
I would
like
argue AC Milan probably has done what they've done is basically whatever the rejected pieces of bigger clubs such as Theo Hernandez or Brian Diaz,
yeah,
uh, and they're still young and they've taken them. You know, Hakimi was brought by Inter last. You know, they were part of that,
yeah,
and even Lukaku wasn't really a hit in United, right? So they've taken that and basically built around those teams because those players are really good, and also they had some other interesting talents such as um, um, can't remember at this point, but it's not coming. The AC Milan forward. Anyway, I'll move on. But what I'm trying to say, they've tried with Jovetic. Sorry, not Jovetic. The other one, Piatek, didn't work.
yeah,
But eventually, that model did fit in, and they had a tactician or coach who was happy, and also a little bit of influence of former stars such as Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming into that dressing room and taking the ownership and pushing other players, right?
actually I saw some highlights of Zlatan in in last 2 3 matches actually, and he was playing those flicks like
Mm.
he used to play, to create this build up, and it's almost like really influential to see those flicks like from a 40 years old, like
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
yeah. The guy still fit as even Olivier Giroud is doing some great things as well as
Yeah,
I like this Milan side how they're playing. Um, the midfielder they bought from number 8, can't remember at this point. I don't know, the my head is kind of jammed, but yeah, there are some excellent players, and I think they're going to get Julian Alvarez very soon because the scout was there very recently, and
yeah.
Alvarez scored a hat trick in Argentine league, and I think Milan cannot wait till summer. They're probably doing it in January to bolster because otherwise his price is going to go up a bit. So they have the scouts all over, and they're trying to finalize before Bayer Leverkusen got into basically Alvarez.